Virgil forced us to. I'm just kidding.
Arm wrestled. Well, we were all part of a small group, a Bible study. And so Virgil and Kelsey came and joined us. And Virgil had this dream and vision from God to do a church plant in Gresham. And then, I don't know, do you want to...
He shows up and goes, "Hey guys, we're going to start a church." I was like, "What?" Like we all kind of like laughed, like, "Oh yeah." And then we started a church, which was really a cool process to be a part of. And then even now, 15 years later, still being a part of it.
And we were part of Cornerstone, led by Barry Arnold. And then Cornerstone, once it got established, planted GBC. And again, we were part of a church at Cornerstone, which, while smaller, had many mature, solid, gifted people already there. And we thought, well, maybe we could be more help in a new and maybe somewhat younger group. And so that's what brought us to GBC.
For Ange and I, we had been in church our whole life, but it was always where our parents had gone to church. So young in our kind of married life, we decided to do a little hunting around and visited a bunch of churches. We ended up at Cornerstone, which is where Gresham Bible was planted out of. So less than a year there is when we met Virgil. He was a Seahawks fan, so I was pretty much sold at that point. Ange she didn't need much convincing. She was excited too.
We moved up here and we're bouncing around churches. And then we met Virgil and found out he was planting a church. And we really wanted to be involved in that again.
Yeah, as soon as we heard that there was a church plant, we just knew right away that we wanted to be a part, because we wanted to bring what we had experienced down there here to Gresham, or at least we hoped that we could bring a little piece of that up here, because it was really powerful to be part of a church where everyone was so involved in each other's lives in a very authentic and wonderful gospel-oriented way.
Mm-hmm.
My parents had gone to Cornerstone. They were part of that. And I was there for about a year. And Virgil and Kelsey were there. And so when they wanted to start it, I thought that's a cool opportunity, kind of make my faith my own in this way, to be a part of something that's in the community too. And then I knew a bunch of people that I had grown up with that were going to come over and be a part of it. And it just felt like the right thing to do. And so I jumped in, and it's 15 years later, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I think Virgil was already interning under Barry Arnold, and our small group was really it was really a young marrieds group. We all went to various different churches. I think there was at least 3 or 4 churches represented there. And so when that opportunity came up for Virgil, he asked us to join him, and we all jumped on board.
Mm-hmm.
Gracie, why did you get involved with the church plant?
Well, I was kind of like born into it, just grew up in the family.
So I was very pregnant on April 8th, 2007, started contracting during service, and we left pretty immediately after service and had her later that night. So she's
at 11:07 p.m.
11:07. So she is the age of the church.
I loved all the campouts and singing and playing in the talent shows and doing pine cone wars and stuff like that.
I think there's something special too about just the relationships and knowing the leaders in the church. We've been part of big churches before where, you pass an elder in the hallway and you might not even know they're an elder and they don't know who the heck you are. And that's kind of the nature of a large church sometimes. But GBC has been different for us, where we're in the homes of our elders and they're in our home. And I think that creates kind of a special bond. So we've really enjoyed that.
Women's ministry that's given me the opportunity to kind of heal from our bad church experience, and then also have an opportunity to lead. So I have a Zoom group now that I really am close to and enjoy a lot.
Probably getting baptized too. Like that was a good thing. And with doing it with Aubrey and Hattie.
First thing that popped in my brain was actually getting to know like the Basque students the Summer in the USA,
Yeah.
which I think we're doing again this summer. That was actually awesome.
Mhm.
That was a really cool experience to do. Like, kind of like the Riegelmans were the ones who introduced it to us, and they were like, it's like doing a mission at home. And that's exactly what it was like. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been interested in discipleship, probably above everything else in my church experience as an adult. So when I think back over the years of GBC, I think of all the contacts I've had with other guys, inviting them out for coffee, or meeting either one-on-one or in small groups of 3 or even a little bit larger classes, just different venues for growing together with other men, trying to be an encouragement to them, but mutual accountability, those kind of things that help us to grow. So that's definitely one highlight.
Well, it's cool because, I mean, technically when we started the plant, there was 2 of us. Now there's 5 of us. All the girls have grown up in the church with their friends. And then being able to, 3 of us, I guess, were there on the first day. And then this past year being able to do the baptism and just see them grow up into, we got 2 women and one thinks she's a woman and then 2 of us. So it's,
old man over here.
Yeah, the old man.
Just thinking back through all the years of the kids' ministry coming up and doing their performances, I just think back to some of the first ones. The kids were so little, there was only a few up there on stage, and they were adorable. And then, fast forward to some of our last performances at Dexter, it took 10 minutes just to get all the kids on the stage. It had grown so much. We had more kids than adults at that point, and it was amazing to watch the church grow in that way, and to know that all those kiddos were being discipled and poured into in the kids' classrooms by other caring and loving adults.
I think a big highlight for me is having my kids grow up in the same church body for the last 15 years. Levi was just a few months old at the time, so we had all of our kids pretty much. Gresham Bible is their home church from birth until now, and the ability for them to call Gresham Bible their own and to really just embrace it and build on God's word at one location, I think is huge.
Yeah, this one was hard for me at first, and then I realized that my entire life would be different if it wasn't for GBC. I've never sat and thought about what church, how it's changed my life, but I always just wanted to get married and have a family, and I met my husband through Virgil and Kelsey, and I would never have met them if I hadn't met him if I hadn't had been at GBC and become friends with Virgil and Kelsey. And so my life and my faith, I think too, especially through some of the women's studies we've done, has really greatly been changed and challenged and matured. And so kind of I owe most of what my life looks like to GBC. So that's been big.
Best memory for me is I've gotten to baptize all 3 of my kids. It's pretty wonderful. And also I got to preach my first sermon at GBC, and have gotten to preach many more since then, and gotten to learn that I really love to preach, and I'm so grateful.
Summer in the USA, being able to host exchange students, I think it's made an impact on our church, but also our family, being able to witness another culture in our home and adopt those students in and see how the Lord's using that opportunity to change their hearts.
Jordan, I'm really glad you asked that question. I know a lot of people are going to give some fluff answer, but doorknob. That's my answer. Doorknob. It allows you to open and close doors as the Lord sees fit.
Community, just that opportunity to know people and get involved in friendship and serving. I think that's what it means to me.
I think, one of the pillars of GBC throughout it has been community. And I think it fits really well with the church. How a good portion of us are in a similar walk in life with young kids or, middle school and high school kids. And then we've had other individuals that have been in another stage that have been able to add like their influence on the church, and everyone's been working together trying to figure this out.
The first thing I thought of was community, because that's like always where all my friends have come from, and like lots of people who have supported me my whole life.
The first word that comes to mind is community. I think that GBC from the beginning, I remember the planting meetings, us talking about for people to feel welcome and to be a community of people. That's why we did the fellowship break. That's why we did things like the garage sales and doing stuff for the teachers at Dexter, was because we value that.
I think of the word family, and I think of it in some different ways. One is just that at GBC, I think I've seen a unique valuing of the family, of really trying to emphasize the family being a place where children can grow up experiencing love and security and spiritual formation. And so that's been a big emphasis, I think. We are a family. We're a spiritual family, which is even deeper than biological family. So I think the ways we've tried to live that out as a church have been significant. Also, just the special interest that we've had, the heart for children who have not had the privilege of growing up in an intact, secure, loving family, kids in need of fostering or adoption. And that's been a major emphasis, something God's put on the heart of many people at GBC. And I think that's a distinctive of GBC that's really been a great thing to see.
I'll say family. I think we started as a small church. I don't know how many couples were a part of the initial church plant, but it was a small group. We all had little kids. We were all just living life together. And I think that's continued at GBC, just the family feel, people really intentional in each other's lives and connecting and supporting each other. And so I'd say family.
My word would be hospitality. I feel like our church is really good at just loving on people, and not just by saying hi at fellowship break, but I mean, just, being there for each other and being hospitable in relationship and in, time and food and meals. So that's my word.
I would say authenticity. I think that through the years, that's what I have found at GBC through other people and from relationships through the years and from the pulpit, that it's just an authentic, it's a place where people are authentic, and we can be who we are and grow together in Christ.
Present as the word, or faithful. I feel like there's just been a lot of times where members of the church or the church there, it's just, they're there for you and they're present. And it's been awesome to have, if you need anything, like if you have actual like needs, there's somebody who's there who will help you out. If it's prayer, which I have needed lots of prayer over the years, there's always somebody there to pray that you can reach out to and be real and be honest with. So I think present would probably be my word.
Gospel has kind of been the foundation of all we do. Every week we get the gospel preached to us, and every week I need to hear it. I think we've experienced a lot of grace at GBC, and it's all founded on that same thing, the gospel of Jesus Christ. So.
Gospelship unity. So if you could put that up on the screen.
Why?
Gospelship unity. Gospel, fellowship, community, unity. That's what GBC is about to me.